All right, let's try a little thought experiment together. We're going to go on a journey from this super connected world we all live in to a state of real, genuine independence. We're going to explore what it really means to be resilient. And you know what? It all starts with a single, silent moment.
Just imagine that. No big explosion, no warning at all, just a sudden, deep silence. The phone in your hand just goes dark. The lights flicker out. Everything you count on, every little piece of our digital life, just stops.
So, what just happened? Well, that's the effect of an electromagnetic pulse, or an EMP. It's basically the ultimate system-wide reset button. Now, most people hear this and immediately think about, hoarding canned goods. But that's not what this is about. Not really. True survival, it's a philosophy. It's a mindset that can actually help you right now, even if the lights never, ever go out.
So here's our roadmap. We've just experienced what a world gone quiet feels like. Next up, we'll dive into the surprising power of paper, then how to harness small, personal energy. We'll look at the urgent race against time for the absolute essentials, what a new kind of independence looks like, and finally, how all of this comes together to build your own personal agency.
Okay, our first pillar is all about getting back to what's real, what's tangible. We kind of live in an age of digital amnesia. We ask search engines for everything. But what happens when that massive library in the cloud just disappears?
And you can see the contrast, right? The cloud feels absolutely limitless, but it is so, so fragile. It depends on this massive global network to even exist. But a bookshelf? Well, it's finite, sure, but it's real, it's tangible, it's yours, and no power surge on Earth can delete it.
In a world without Google, physical information, well, that becomes power. A medical reference book? Suddenly you're the local clinic. A detailed paper map of your area? You're the guide. This kind of knowledge is the one currency that never, ever loses its value.
Okay, but let's be real. Why should you care about any of this today? How does building a physical library actually change your life when the internet is working perfectly fine?
It all comes down to building what you could call cognitive grit. See, when you learn something from a book instead of just watching a 2-minute video, you're not just consuming data, you're internalizing the logic. You become a practitioner of a skill. You prove to yourself that you can solve problems with your own mind and your own 2 hands. And believe me, that is a rare and powerful thing in our automated world.
All right, let's move to our next pillar. We're going to talk about energy, but not the kind that comes from some huge, distant power plant. Nope, we're talking about the small, personal energy that you can literally hold in your hand.
We're so used to the plug, right? It feels infinite, but it's completely centralized. It's totally out of our control. A simple battery, though, sure, it's finite, but it's decentralized. It's portable. It belongs to you. It's a little pocket full of power in what could be a powerless world. Think about a really good flashlight. It's so much more than just a tool to see in the dark. It's a psychological anchor. It gives you a sense of comfort, of control. And here's a really cool little fact. Its sturdy metal body can actually act as a natural Faraday shield, which could potentially protect the delicate electronics inside from an EMP.
Okay, so what's the immediate takeaway here? How does thinking about batteries and flashlights make our lives better when we can just flip a switch on the wall?
It teaches us the basics of decentralized living. When you have to manage a limited supply of batteries, you learn the real value of a single watt. It makes you intentional. Plus, just learning to be comfortable in the dark, to navigate your own home without artificial light. It sharpens your other senses and builds this deep, almost primal confidence.
Okay, let's keep moving because in any crisis, the clock starts ticking fast on 2 absolutely critical resources: drinkable water and all that energy that's locked away in gasoline.
Just look at this timeline for a second. It's pretty sobering. Our tap water relies on these massive electric pumps. When the power goes out, the pressure starts to fail within an hour. In about half a day, the taps are completely dry. And after 3 days, well, the human body starts to shut down. This isn't a maybe. Knowing how to find, filter, and purify water is a non-negotiable life skill.
Now, let's look at this number, 400. That's roughly the hours of hard, physical human labor that are stored in a single gallon of gasoline. It's a miracle of energy density, really. But in a scenario like an EMP, it becomes a ghost asset. It's right there, in underground tanks, but you can't get to it because the electric pumps are all dead.
So how does this mindset, this idea of being prepared, actually benefit us in our normal, everyday lives?
It's all about shifting from a just-in-time lifestyle to a just-in-case lifestyle. I mean, most of us run on empty, right? In our cars, in our pantries.
When you break that habit, when you start thinking ahead, it fundamentally lowers your daily stress. It creates the mental space you need to make better, clearer decisions about everything else in your life.
So if fuel is this finite resource from the old world, our next pillar is about tapping into something that's, well, basically infinite. We're talking about real energy independence by harvesting the power of the sun.
And this right here is the heart of it, philosophically. A small solar setup, it's so much more than just a piece of technology. It's a statement. It's an act of rebellion against helplessness. That shift in your mind from being a passive consumer who's totally dependent on a fragile system to becoming an active producer of your own energy, it's profound. It's a declaration that you are responsible for your own light.
So let's bring all these pieces together. The books, the batteries, the water, the sun, they aren't just a random checklist of prepper items. They are tools. They're tools for building one of the most important psychological traits a person can possibly have: agency.
And what is agency? It's actually really simple. It's the core belief that your actions matter, that you can affect your own outcome. When things go sideways, people who lack agency, they tend to freeze up. They panic. They wait for someone else to rescue them. But people with agency, the ones who practice solving problems, they get to work. They take action.
So here's a little challenge for you. And look, these are not prepper activities. They are human activities. Try going just one weekend without the internet and see what you actually know. Use a real physical map to get somewhere new. Learn the simple science behind making water safe to drink. Every single one of these actions builds that agency muscle.
The silent snap might never happen, but the capable, confident person you become by preparing for it, that person will be ready for anything. This isn't really about survival. It's about living a more intentional, more powerful life, starting right now. So the real question is this: what one step will you take to build your agency today?